Okay, it's the 10th of October, and I'm seeing pictures of big bucks being killed all over the place. And most likely these guys have had pictures of these bucks. They probably knew the bucks were there. I don't have that going on. I have bucks back here, but I don't have any movement in daylight. And I can't stand it anymore. I need to get out in the woods. I got to do something. So I'm going to go to some public land, and I'm going to hang up a stand. I'm going to use the Silent Approach climbing system. It's a public land specialist, to be honest. It's ideal for public land. Take a lock-on stand, take it out, hang it up, use the steps, leave the stand, and take your steps back with you. Nobody's getting up in there. There's a good chance people won't even see it. It's really hard to tell, really hard to see the stand without a big giant ladder, bulky ladder, showing where it's at. So we're going to take the Silent Approach climbing system, rigged up with a lock-on stand, and we are going to head out. We're going to hang this stand. It's back in a great spot. It's way off the road. We're going good ways back in. It's an absolutely gorgeous day. It's overcast. It's rained the past few days. It's a little too early, for the bucks to be on rut movements. And I don't have any good stands set up for feeding patterns. Food plots aren't really established yet on the property. We've been working on them for a few years, but still don't have the magic ingredient down, so we're waiting for November. But in the meantime, I can't stand it. I need to get out. I don't really want to get back in my woods. I'm still saving it. Finally, I'm out in the woods. Beautiful. Public ground really is amazing. There's so many acres that can be hunted. And when you do your homework and find the right spots, it's you can have a gigantic amount of property all to yourself. Most guys, the way they hunt public ground is they'll carry in a climbing stand and pack that in and hunt out of that, and that's fine. It works. A lot of guys kill a lot of deer that way. But I'm of the mind, especially with this new option with this Silent Approach climbing system, that I'm going to start hunting some public land, and I'm going to take lock-on stands and carry them in. I've rigged up some backpack straps. Yeah, I've got my harness on, and ideally this would be done anytime, but it's the 10th of November now. So I'm hiking back in here. Great spots, way back in the middle of this place. And I'm going to hike back in and set up my stand and back on out. I'll just leave it there till in November. I've got 3 weeks in November. I can slip back in here and hunt this. And I'm really excited to see how it works. There's a big area that I've been here a few times, so actually a lot of times in the past. When I was younger, I was laid off in the winter from a construction type job, and I just hung out at this big piece of state ground and just scouted that was what I did in the wintertime. I scouted back in the wilderness, and I found this big place, bunch of deer, big bedding area. And I'm going to hike back there and hang up a stand, and then I'll hike back in and bring my steps with me, and up I go. I'll be carrying about 5 pounds, a little over 5 pounds for my multiple mile walk, versus carrying, I don't know, whatever it is, 25, 30 pounds, depends on how gigantic your stand is. There are some light ones, but they still require a tremendous amount of work. I've used all different kinds of stands. I think this new method's going to end up being my favorite. Found a terrific place heading to where the bedding area where I was looking to hunt. Found a great pinch point here. Got this big, deep ravine. Goes down to a creek, and this area through here you can see is just wide open. I think that bedding area will be just over this hill. If that's the case, on the edge over here is a great spot. Area like this is obviously has a tremendous amount of deer traffic because there isn't any vegetation and it doesn't, you know, it doesn't just disappear by itself. Well, I've had confirmation that this is a good area, and we are in the edge. You can see over there, just turns into a thick mess. Deer obviously coming out here. This guy here has found the same thing. So have to come up with plan B. What's kind of a bummer, that was a perfect spot right here. So I'm not going to hunt this area, but I'm going to head a little further back in that way. That's the direction I was intending to come from anyway. So, and we're going to go on and head on down through here, look for somewhere else to hang a stand. Talk about thick. Down in that bottom there, thick as can be. There's a trail that comes around this rim. We're gonna get it on the back side of this thing. You know, that spot that guy has that stand in is ideal. Come up the creek and just get right into your stand. It's too bad we couldn't do that. We're going to go along this side of this thing here, this big bowl, and find a place in the back side where we've got this trail that runs along this way, and then that's this trail we're walking on, and then there's going to be a place where it comes in back here, and we're going to hunt back here on this other ridge, and then we're going to come up the hill from over on this other side, which was the plan anyway. So I found that spot. It's a beautiful spot I hadn't seen before. On the back side of this thing, you can see all this thicket area down in that bottom, and then as it starts to come to the back here, it starts to clear up, and we've got another ridge that runs along that way. So I think somewhere on this corner here would be great. It was my intention to come up over this hill. That hill drops down real big right there. So we'll come up that side over that hill with the wind blowing that way. And our morning thermals will be coming up, so it'll be good to hunt in the morning, and then once we get some wind blowing, should be a pretty good little spot. I found the original ridge we were going to hunt. This is a really great spot, and you can see where it's real open on this ridge, and then you have trails dropping down into that thick area. So we'll try to maybe find a trail crossing this ridge, little intersection, and hang a stand there. And we'll keep an eye out for stands while we're at it. I just feel like there's a stand around here somewhere. There's gonna be, if there isn't. We have a little low spot. Here we go, here's the trail. Right here. Trail coming out of that thick area. See where it crosses over here. Okay, we've picked our stand tree out. We have, this is the thicket, the bowl we've been talking about. And right here's the trail coming around it. And we have this ridge running along this way, all the way out through there. There's a good chance that those bucks make it down in that bottom and come up out and over instead of going along that in that funneled area. It's a pretty solid spot. So we're gonna go stand up. I'm gonna sit this stuff down, pull off our steps, and see how long it takes us to get up. 20 minutes to get up. That's from unloaded and everything. And you can see what we got going on here. spot if we can get it with the wind blowing up out of the bottom. The deer coming up out of that bottom, coming around it. We've got this big long ridge that we're on. Real steep on the other side. Should be good. All right, it's 6:45. We got our stand done. It's hung. Took us about 40 minutes to get our stand up and fiddle around in there a little bit. Leave our stand, come back down, take our steps with us. What is that? Got some movement. So we've got this great area. Didn't have to trim any shooting lanes. We've got all kinds of wide open areas, and the hardest part's going to be getting up over that hill and finding this spot. I mean, I know how to get here. I've been here tons of times, but coming right here without walking all over creation might be a task. But I'm going to go down and mark a spot at the bottom of this hill, and I can't wait to come back, bring y'all back in here in November. I can hang another stand up there too. That'll be awesome. The walkout isn't so bad. I might take a little look up this ridge a little bit, see if I see any other stands. And I think I'm going to be able to find this place fairly easily. I'll just have to make sure I mark my spot down at the bottom of the hill, but there's no easy trail to get up here. There has to be a lot of deer activity through here. Looks like a park. That doesn't happen by accident. I mean, maybe if these trees were 150 years old, but that's not the case. Looks like we're going into a little draw here. And that's why you can see there's vegetation over there and vegetation over there. And then right down through here, it looks the same as it does up in there. And that's because deer are eating, traveling through here, and they feed along the way and create these paths where they're traveling. It's a good sign to know where deer are moving. Someone's blue flag. It'd be nice if I could follow that all the way to the to the trail. There's another one. I think they're coming up that draw there. Maybe they know something I don't. Let's go ahead and follow that draw. That makes good sense. As long as it doesn't get too rough and rowdy. I'm kind of backtracking a little bit at this point, but that's okay, I guess. As long as I can find the dang place without massive incident. This is a pretty big hill with a lot of plants, a lot of trees, a lot of thick stuff. And we'll see where this goes. Guess I'm going the right way. if you can follow drainage is, makes it a lot easier to find your way than to just kind of walking through the woods where there isn't a trail, and you're not going to find a whole lot of people hiking a mile back the road and then hiking another half a mile up a hill, over the hill, through the woods, because they're not going to grandma's house. And even if they were going to grandma's house, they probably wouldn't put that much effort in it. But this sure is a nice looking flat spot. And there's, whatever you want to call it, a whole lot easier way to get up this hill. That, and it's easy to remember. I could show you how I'm looking, but it might give me away. So back to the trail, and what a great time. I can't wait to get back in here and hunt that stand. I'll have to find somebody that's not afraid of heights, that's for sure. Because these steps aren't for the faint of heart. You have to be a tree climber